effects of the solar energy on others kind of forced me to like really lock in on what the hell's going on here with this. And I like for the flat earthers and all that stuff, I don't care. I'm not going to space right now, so that does not matter to me. But I do understand they miseducate us and everything, so I'm with it. The information, I kind of haven't made it like focused on that enough, but the information definitely counters what they've taught us, and I always knew they teach us things in reverse. So yeah, I recommend to the downloading of Star Chart, this space weather app right here, and Suspicious Observers is another one. Gives you another set of information as well. I'm not selling nothing. Like, I'm just sharing information openly. I don't even care for no likes or any of that. But this information will be here for those who are geeks, like nerds about this shit, and really want to learn, and then help them with their application. So I showed y'all where 3110 is. It's Earth directed at the time. As you can see, that M88 came from there, and you see its flare pattern. But I want to focus on 3112 because this one, so far we had two M's, but looking at the sunspot, you can see the difference. See this sunspot, that one little spot. The blue is the blue is a certain type of magnetism, and blue is negative and red is positive. Green is gamma. When you look on this color coded one. So if you look at this one, you see all these different colors. In fact, let's go in. So a delta sunspot is one that has a blue spot and a red spot next to each other. This is one field of magnetism. And if you look at this on the thing, I'm going to show in a second so you can see it, but you'll see amazing magnetic field lines reaching out off the sun. But from here, you see that blue right there? It's a little bit of red. See this blue is right there? So those are all deltas. Deltas is the big dogs, the X-flare players. Like, yeah, they'll pop off on anybody at any second. And the fact that they're popping off over here makes them more likely to shoot when they're at Earth. And another thing I noticed was that when we have high stream coronal holes pointing at us, it's high particle winds. It kind of makes like I would say like a vacuum or something in the direction that it's flowing, so that by the time these sunspots are pointing in that same direction that when it was at Earth, when the flares like release, it pulls more off the sun, making higher class flares. That's my own observation. You won't hear that nowhere else. I have not read that or learned that. I literally learned that only through observation. But it like kind of makes a tunnel. They do have something called X spots, but this is what I believe. This is my concept of what X spots actually are. If you look up NASA's ability to teleport, they found X spots in these magnetic fields. But I believe when these coronal holes are open, this is like portals for other, class of civilizations to enter and go to other parts of the galaxy and such. But also, it allows for those flares when the sunspots are facing the Earth. They get pulled off more because it's already high stream particles flowing in that direction. You see what I'm saying? So it's just gonna ride the train, like kind of like Finding Nemo, how they was riding through the ocean on those I forgot what they call it, but currents. Let's say currents. So that's another thing. The sun is liquid. You'll see when these flares release, you'll see transverse waves, which is like when you drop a pebble in the pond, rippling off. You'll see that going through the sun. Gas does not do that. Gas does longitudinal waves. So it's a lot of things, man. But as we observe ourselves, we don't need to let them tell us what to think. Or that's another point. You go to school, they tell you what to think. It's up to your parents to teach you how to think. If you got kids, you are failing if you expect the school to teach your children. That's not their job. But the government's job is to make sure it has good workers for it. So that's why they do it how they do. But if you want your kids to be sufficient, you have to teach them in the house, and then the school is the testing ground. There's no other way for that to work. And so you have to teach them how to think and not just accept any answer. Use rational thinking. Learn to control the emotional reaction to things. That's really how they like us, is to be emotionally reactive to everything. So we'll be heavy consumers though. And it's working pretty well. So yeah, this video got way longer than I expected, so I'm gonna end it right here. Thank you for watching. Like and share too. If you know anybody who was a student, share this with them. Peace and love.